6.sp.4 learning target. I understand data displays, including box plots, histograms, and dot plots. What could be better? So those are our vocabulary words. Box plot. A box plot shows where the data is clumped. Remember, a box plot, sometimes called a box whisker plot, has 1/4 of the data in each of these 4 sections, and it's broken into, so they're broken into quartiles. So there are 4 quartiles there, and the dividing spots, like 44, is the lower quartile. 50 is the upper quartile in this case. 48's the median, and 40 and 52 are the minimum and the maximum values. Okay? So that's a box plot. Histogram. Histogram looks like a bar graph, except that the titles of the bars are ranges. So this has, well, let's take a look at this data. Chest size in inches. Okay, that's interesting. So we've got all of the people that are from 40 to 42 in the first bar. There's 1 of them. There are 2 people that have chest sizes from 42 to 44, and so on. Just in case you hear these terms, these ranges are called bins. There's like categories. So instead of having a bar for each height, maybe there's only one of each. Maybe there's only one, like a 40, a 41, and a 42, where all the bars would have been the same size. Sometimes it makes it easier to put them into categories or bins or groups. Okay? Frequency just means the number of items in each bin. All right, dot plot. In a dot plot, all the data points are shown, and it's useful when some of the data is the same. If there were, if all these numbers were different, all of this wouldn't make sense to have a dot plot, because you just have one X above every number. But you can see where the data is clumped. You can see the highest and the lowest value. You can see the mode pretty easily. You can see how it's spread out. It's pretty good, except if there was a lot of data, you wouldn't necessarily want to make a dot plot. That would be unhandy. Let's see. That's it. Those are the 3 main displays that we're going to be talking about today. So there's not really notes. You just need to understand what's shown on each type of display. So our example today for you to copy down is make a dot plot and a box plot for the following set of data. So I'm going to suggest that we start with a dot plot. So I'm going to need to make room for my dot plot. I'm going to need a number line with numbers that range from 4 up to 12. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. I probably ought to write in all the numbers. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Dot plots are easy. For each data point, you just put an X above the number. So there's a 4. Well, how many 4s are there? There's 4 of them. So I'm going to put those 4. I'm going to cross them out so I know I've done it. 4 4s. 3 7s. Got it. Oop, that wasn't a 7. 3 7s, a 10, and 2 12s. A 10 and 2 12s. That's a dot plot. There you have it. Box plot. I also need a number line. And I think I will use basically the same number line. Maybe I'll start with a 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, starting above and below the numbers that I'm going to use. All right, so I can put dots on the minimum and the maximum. So let's do that. So the dots are going to be on 4 and 12. 2, 3, 4. 4 and 12 would be about right there. Now I need to find the median. So the median would be, if I put the numbers in order, if I look at my dot plot, I can tell they're in order. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, there's 10 numbers. So I'm going to be in between the 5th and the 6th. So let's look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In between the 5th and the 6th would be in between two 7s. So the median value, the middle value, is going to be at a 7. So I can put a line on 7. Okay. Now I'm wishing the numbers were in order. So I'm gonna rewrite these here. So I'm gonna go 4, 4, 4. There's 4 of them. 4 4s. 7, 7, 7. And 10, 12, 12. Okay, so I've already got my median. There's 10 of them. My median was right here. So this is my lower half of the data. You can see that 4 is in the middle of the lower half. That's my lower quartile. So 4 is my lower quartile. Man, that's confusing because it's also my minimum value. And the middle value on the upper is 10. So 10 is my upper quartile. And I wish I was keeping the colors right. Okay, so there you have it. And now I can connect the whiskers, but the smaller one I can't connect. So this is kind of awkward for this box plot. You can see that there is no whisker right there, but that's still what it would look like. Okay, so other examples that you might experience in your homework. In health class, students recorded their weights and organized them into a table. Okay. They don't look very well organized, so they're all over the place. What's the best graph to use to show the shape of the data? Okay, bar graph I don't think would be great because there's so many different data points. There's not a whole bunch of 61s. So you would have a million bars. You're going from, from 56, is that the smallest one, all the way up. There's a lot of bars, and almost very few of them have more than one. So I would not use a bar graph. That wouldn't make sense. A histogram would make sense because you could make a histogram that looks like a bar graph where the bars or the bins have a range of 50 to 60, and then the next one would have a range of 60 to 70, and so on. Or you could go by fives. That would make sense. I think a histogram would be wise. Let's take a look at the other choices. A box plot, it would include the median, but it would not necessarily show the frequency of the data. The box plot wouldn't show how often certain things are on there. It wouldn't show how many 70s there are or how many 63s there are. So that would not be a reason. And if we're looking for the best graph to show the shape of the data, a box plot would not be the best one because it includes the median. Including the median doesn't necessarily show the shape of the data. I think we're looking for a histogram here. Histogram. Okay. Next question. Mark's ordering jerseys for the players on a basketball team. He measures the chest size of the players and graphs the data. He uses the table below to decide which size jersey to order for each player. So if he needs to know which size to order for each player, he needs to know how many smalls there are on the team how many mediums, and how many larges. If you use, okay, so we're supposed to select all of the graphs that will help him order. If we're trying to know how many smalls there are, the box plot does not tell you how many there are. It shows you that a fourth of them are between 40 and 44, but we don't know how many total there are. So that's not going to help because we need to know an exact number. The dot plot would help. You would know exactly what everyone is getting. So 40 to 44, these would be the smalls. 44 to 48, these would be the mediums. And then you're looking at larges. I think that would be helpful. That one would work. 40 to 40, this would also seem to work. Let me remember what the sizes were. 40 to 44, 44 to 48, and whoa, this doesn't look good. When you start looking at the sizes here, there's overlap. Look at that. What I'm looking at is right there. 45 to 50. Let's take a closer look. 45 to 50 includes 46 and 47 and 48, and so does that. That's a bad histogram. That's not going to be helpful. So that is not going to help us order. Let's look at this next one. That one looks like it's the exact sizes, 40 to 44, 44 to 48, 48 to 52. That would be helpful. You can see how many there are. You can see we need 3 smalls, 5 mediums, and 3 larges. That's helpful. Could do it. Okay. Next question. Box plot shown. Complete the statement. 50% of the principals are between the ages of... There's a lot of choices here. 50%, since a box plot separates things into quartiles, each quartile is 25% because it's a fourth of the data. So, this says the middle 50%. Okay, so I read more closely now. So the middle 50% is going to be from 40 to 52 because this is 25% and so is this. So answers are 40 and 52. All right. Now, in the interest of time, I'm not going to be able to do this next problem. I'm sure you're disappointed. It would have been a good example of a histogram. Pretty straightforward. You just need to make bars for all the ages from 0 to 9 up here. I think there are, I don't know, however many there are here, you would go and make bars. These are not the right numbers, but you'd have to count them up from that chart there, but we don't have enough time, so now it's time to go to the quick check. Go ahead and make a box plot for the following data and get it checked off. See you soon.